The cabinet and super cabinet appointees are all drawn from the consulting firm of Sycophant, Crony In-law, all of them dedicated to the destruction of the modern American state. I thought that was the anarchist's job. But of course, the job is to enrich the rich. Therefore, the poors and friends have to defend the state, such as it is, until such time as the masses of various classes unfool themselves enough that we can work together to envision, nay, create, something altogether fitting and proper for better lives. Dare we say, a more perfect planet, like with species on it and stuff. Now, given that these nominees are all well qualified to dismantle the agencies that they're being appointed to fix, President Fix-It has done a stellar job. But is it a good thing to do a bad thing well? I'd ask Al Capone, but he doesn't take my calls since becoming besties with Mump. Al Capone was persecuted too. When they came after Al, they were coming after you. The public loved him. Make Al great again. And bring back his cousin Jim Crow to run the agency for separate and somewhat unequal. One of the best ways to enable authoritarianism is to close one eye, or both, while others rewrite history books and institute policies just different enough from those of the great 1870s to 1950s so you can't tell they're the same. And really, what are health, education, and welfare compared to keeping our children safe from having Haitian nannies force them to read Creole language cat cooking recipes? Russell 2025, Vote, head of the Office of Management and Budget. Vote wrote that the president should abolish the offices on climate and gender, since the climate doesn't change, and neither should gender, adding that if there do turn out to be more than two genders, we might as well all perish anyway. He is a scientific researcher known for finding the way to circumnavigate Congress to build the border wall. He is also credited with the discovery of the woke and weaponized bureaucracy and the genetic modification of the Insurrection Act to deploy troops against dissidents. He specializes in streamlining the government, that is, consolidating power in the hands of the king, or lacking that, the Prez-a-King. He has opposed the Federalist Society as being too soft, saying they don't know what time it is. Just to be clear, it's Pinochet time.
There's a sign back there that says Doge actually means dangerous oligarchs grab everything.
The Prez-a-King has evicted fired Coast Guard Commandant Linda Fagan from her home on 3 hours' notice. The raid was led by Israeli commandos. She was fired for including non-white male people in the Coast Guard. Yes, it is once again an imperial presidency in an imperial world.
We are living in an imperial world, but I am no imperial girl. You know that we are living in an imperial world, but I am no imperial girl.
This was accomplished by a coup, a Control-Alt-Delete of democracy, carried out in part by co-president Elon, the Archduke of South Africa. President Real Estate has unveiled his plan for Gaza. We'll take out the rubble, including the leftover people, and give Israel some more bombs to create more rubble. You see, it's a permanent job security plan for, well, Americans first, including Israelis, who are the real Americans. Many people are saying that. And it is, after all, the Riviera of the Middle East. The king explained to the alleged Gazans that they would be happy to leave if they had somewhere to go, just as Native Americans were happy to go to Oklahoma. The whole cockamamie project was half withdrawn the next day, with Secretary of The World Is Ours, Rubio, saying the eviction of the Palestinians would be temporary. The evictees in waiting breathed a sigh of relief, adding the temporary edict to their previous temporary evictions in 1948 and 1967. The Donald, Duke of Mar-a-Lago, has diverted 2 billion gallons of water from farmers in California to rivers and lakes not particularly near the LA fire zone. Does he prioritize destroying California or Palestine? Representative Ayanna Pressley sums it up.
Hands off our bodies, hands off our data, hands off our tax refunds, hands off our social security checks,